Oh.
Tracking enemy.
What's my name?
Concussion grenade. Frag going out. Clean kill. Target set. Requesting CUAV above. Threat clear. Eyes on it. Frag throw. Fucking blind! Done.
Enemy CUAV inbound. Hostile UAV established overhead.
Move up! Shit, I mean, you got some blow! Eyes on enemy! Requesting recon above! Enemy foot patrol!
Fucking camper. Casper the camper.
Coming in.
Fuck you, motherfucking bitch. You're a fucking camper, man. you. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you again.
Eyes on hostile sentries.
You got it.
Requesting recon assault.
Casper.
Requesting CUAV above.
Ooh. My God, Casper.
Requesting CUAV above. Requesting recon above.
We're ahead, but stay alert. Marshall's people are no fools.
Poor Casper.
They were already dead. Just hadn't realized. Good job.
That's how the CIA gets done.
Enter my name, Casper.
Eyes on enemy. Hostile shooting. Looking dark crap.
Сейчас я буду мало. Спасибо.
Remember my name.
Son of a bitch.
deathmatch. Destroy the enemy.
Waypoint marked. Move. Disregard. Head for indicated location.
Lead's ours. This shit ain't working. We've lost the advantage.
Sending frag.
Nice. We're pulling ahead.
Hostile confirmed. Tossing concussion.
Damn it, we've lost the lead.
Weaver requesting UAV tasking.
We got the lead. Now hold it.
Commence counter UAV operations.
Come on, you're losing this fight. We've taken control. You've fallen behind. This shit ain't working. We've lost the advantage.
Sniper, get down.
Back at you.
Enemy sniper shooting.
Enemy CUAV inbound. Enemy UAV inbound.
Grenade out! Enemy grenade!
Show yourself back.
Stun out! Incoming threat! Flashbang! Watch out! Enemy mine! Run!
Hostile UAV established overhead. Hostile counter UAV established
Frag
above.
thrown!
MTC's in the red. It's now or never.
Tossing concussion! Tick! Hostile gone!
They're the CIA. You think they were just gonna let you walk all
Escape
over
and
them?
evade, people. Don't let them take you alive.
التلقيح ايه التلقيح السريع هذا التلقيح السريع.
عافية.
طيب والثاني اللي على يسار مثل رقم 1 وش احط؟
حط الفلاك جاكيت اللي هو الدرع.
ايه هذا انا حاطط الدرع الاخضر ها.
ايه
طيب والثلاثة
كانت تخليه هذا مال ريلود القنابل.
اللياقة البدنية
لا اللياقة القنابل.
وين هذا؟
انا هاي يحسب
حارس
لا اسمه شو اسمه كوارتر ماستر بالعربي. الاستاذ
بالعربي شلون؟ ها؟
الاستاذ الشيء
ضابط الامداد. لا الحارس
لون الاخضر هيك علامتها قنبله موقوته.
كيف؟
علامتها قنبله موقوته.
ايه ضابط الامداد.
ايه عافيه اواد.
والله بخاطري يا جماعة جيم ما بصغير. اقول لك بخاطري ما بصغير. وش الماب هذا؟
هذا البابلون اقوى ماب بالعالم.
والله
لين بالعراق اقوى ماب بالعالم. ملوك الحروب
Team deathmatch. Weapons free, people. Make them hate her. Team done.
Incoming frag!
Heather requesting LDBR.
This one eye. What's your fucking excuse? Sending frag.
ما بتسوي فيهم يا ولد.
Hostile Semtex. Pointing that shit ass at. Enemy grenade! You dying? No? Good. Get on your feet.
ليش تعشيك بطيء؟
This shit ain't over.
والله نقد.
Enemy grenade!
Pack off. LBB armor marked.
That's right, you shithead. The CIA's nothing it out.
All targets eliminated.
Squad kill. Tango deleted.
واضمان اللعب منتظر.
Free for all. You know what Langley expects. Get it done. Enemy UAV inbound. Your tactics aren't working. Find another way. Hostile UAV established overhead. Enemy care package above. Enemy UAV inbound. Underwhelming effort.
Damn it! What the hell was that?
Team deathmatch. Remind those shitheads who they're dealing with. We got the lead. Now hold it. Come on, you're losing this fight.
Eyes on enemy.
We've taken
Took
control.
out their sharpshooter.
Damn it, we've lost the lead. Eyes on enemy. Nice, pull it ahead.
Incoming frag.
هذا راسك الكش.
Stun out. Grenade out.
Enemy ground.
Target in the open.
Neutralized.
Throwing stun. Taking the shot.
Deploying RCXD.
Engaging shooter. Kill.
Watch
Come
out!
on, Duty.Black Ops, close this shit down.
Sighted on target. Ringline disabled.
Hang on. Let me call Langley. Give him the good news.
Weaver and TACOM. That's one for the good guys.
Move up. Long guns frag. Confirmed.
episode of The Shift, a new series from Mondo Lights. I'm your host, Adam Horowitz, managing editor here at Mondo Lights, and I'll be
الو بسمع الخبر بلعب وين الو بسمع وين بسمع
Competition with 63 other Houston students, John David Norman was only one of 2 participants to win the contest about the country's most important legal document, which is ironic considering the crimes he would go on to commit. At the time, Norman was in Houston and no longer
Playtime's over. Let's see what you're made of.
Yet people in his hometown still did many of his achievements across state lines. They were incredibly proud of him. They thought that he represented a shining city. On top of winning a competitive scholarship, he went on to win a 10-year radio award, of which Norman was also reporting on these accolades. They also discussed John's education. They stated he had completed high school in just 3 years and 1 summer, and had planned his classes meticulously so he could graduate early. Coming that September, they said in the article, he would enter the School of Speech at Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. The news clipping then mentions him as the youngest ever to work at Houston station KTRH, stating that soon his picture would be appearing in a national radio magazine. Employed at KADA for a time, Norman also worked at the Kiwanis Club as a pianist and at the Edward Bach Sunday School. In the article, we know that John David Norman also studied at the
Hostile Foot Patrol
piano as well as the newspaper seemed to know a lot about Norman, and they stated that he got his interest in piano from the federally sponsored Oak Tree Federal College. All these actions suspect that the man would become famous for his work in radio or music, and although he eventually would become famous, it definitely wasn't for anything positive. See, because of what came next, it is clear that John David Norman was not the innocent pianist and promising young man that article weekly made him out to be. There was already evil in his heart. It may even be that he showed his darkness before he was caught for the first time, and he hid his actions. See, in 1954, 10 years after the Ada Weekly published their glowing commentary on Norman's life, he was arrested for the first time. Then again, 2 years later. The circumstances of his initial arrest are hazy, but it was confirmed to be a charge. He was then arrested again 2 years later in 1956 for another charge. Now, these arrests were clearly recorded. However, it is unclear if he was ever convicted of the crimes he was accused of committing. These arrests would only be reported later by the New York Times in 1973, even though there was little explanation for exactly what happened. We don't know if his charges included offenses against minors at the time. These are the earliest signs of John David Norman's go on.
Haven't you heard?
And I find that interesting that we don't know exactly what John David Norman did to who those initial 2 arrests. I'm sure you could try to FOIA the documents or comb through old papers, but my team and I couldn't find any additional details on those charges. But you're arrested for twice in about 2 years. You can definitely see a pattern forming, and people should have known right away back then that this guy was bad news. Unfortunately, back in those days, obviously as it is nowadays, but yeah, I mean, nobody could have had any idea the crimes he would go on to commit. Now, the news about John David Norman dies there for a while, 2 years passing before we see the new mention of his activities. When he comes out of hiding, though, we get another foreshadowing of the 1958 Certificate of Business published in Palm Springs, California. On January 2nd, 1958, the Desert Sun published the following Certificate of Business. Quote, the undersigned does hereby certify that he is conducting a recording business at P.O. Box 1304, City of Palm Springs, County of Riverside, State of California, under the fictitious firm name of Desert Sun, and that said firm is composed of following person whose name and address is as follows to wit. John David Norman, 604 Carlton Way, Hollywood, California. Witness my hand this 10th day of December 1957. Signed, John David Norman. End quote. Using the false name Harry Oliver, John David Norman then began to write his first newsletter under that company name, Desert Records. And these were what Norman would become the most famous for throughout his life. Newsletters that he self-published that included indecent portrayals, photographs, and depictions of minors. Newsletters that served as a catalog of young men, children, and boys that he would sell to across the country. Costing just 10 cents a copy, Norman's first paper was called Harry Oliver's Desert Rat Scrapbook, a, quote, pocket-sized newspaper covering the Great Southwest, end quote. This publication was advertised as being published 4 times a year, with its hook stating the only newspaper you can open in the wind. The paper included comments from listeners that complimented Harry's records and music. One comment reading, Dear Harry, we like your record of tall tales and have played it a lot. Our bird Bridget listens too. She doesn't talk yet, but she will soon be a desert rat. Cuss words and all. Aileen Anderson, Alameda, California. The paper displayed jokes interspersed between commentary, short stories, and narrations. One reading, house climbers rope themselves together because there is safety in numbers. Also, to keep the sensible ones from going home. Judging by the fact that Norman was starting up a recording company and a newsletter just after one of his arrests,
Reaver authorizing watchdog kilo operations.
Charges were dismissed before they put him in prison. This brush with the law, though, was not enough to press Norman away from his criminal mindset. Neither was his love of radio, the written word enough to stop him. Instead, it seemed to draw him towards it, as within just 4 years of his last arrest, he would strike again. John David Norman was arrested in 1960, but this time he was placed behind bars. He had been apprehended and charged with the most heinous crimes a person can commit. This would seem to be the first time he was officially charged with a crime, and he served a short prison sentence, though the details on that prison sentence and the crime itself are still unclear.
Enemy using shotgun.
Or deterred from his actions, though, even after serving 3 prison time, he was charged once again just 3 years later while living in California, a charge for which he served another short prison. So, he's been arrested in about a decade, 4 times.
Scout pulse in your AO.
Nobody's catching on to a pattern. Nobody's thinking that this guy seems to be incredibly dangerous. They're just catching him and releasing him after these short sentences. John David Norman, though, seemed to be so dedicated to committing crimes that he would rather be in prison than step away from his own proclivities. Throughout this time, he was committing his earliest crimes. John David Norman is kind of hard
enemy assault pack
throughout the country. Though he spent most of his time in California, and he would use fake names in the communities that lived in to keep his true identity a secret, much like how he used the name Harry to publish his first newsletter. Likely, John David Norman put on the charm he was known to have, the fake identity of an intelligent and gifted individual. The knack for radio and writing was most striking here, not the fact that John David was able to hide in these communities. Most shocking is the fact that he would be captured and sent to various locations by 1970, although he had already been arrested 4 times for charges. He was either given short sentences or no sentences at all, and he slipped through the hands of justice that should have squeezed tight around him. This really was only the beginning. Norman was at that point just warming up for the greater injustices he would go on to commit against America's youth. After his latest arrest, Norman seemed to find his criminal like most do. Like a thief will start to only target homes with a quality security system, there's certainly there are valuable inside. After these initial offenses, John David Norman would take his crimes to a level unthought of. From the bright young man who was winning scholarships and radio awards came a monster associated with not only 2 serial killers, but multiple major that operated under the very noses of U.S. citizens. By the end of the 60s, it seemed that Norman found his niche, and that was sending in 1970, the Daily News Post of Monrovia, California, published this headline: San Gabriel, West Covina men indicted by federal jury on charges. The story, based in Los Angeles, told the tale of a victory for federal officials. The arrests they had just made, they believed at the time, they may have stemmed the flow of 25% of the area's printed material. 14 indictments were filed against multiple individuals. The cases being named U.S. versus Marvin Miller,
Don't let up.
and U.S. versus John David Norman. The indictments involved the annual distribution of more than 6 million pieces of art material that was being distributed in the Los Angeles area. And these materials were being distributed far and wide. You see, it was documented that
Bravo
there were even
fucking
people
Zulu,
on the
Black Ops.
It's like all
We came, we saw, we fucking dominated.
Same numbers of the approximate population. Much of that material is article
Incoming sentence!
article is having been part of the pursuit to receive a maximum 5-year sentence. John David Norm is charged with no undated exclusive. Here in the article, it only states that violations of the